Hey, today we are going to try making a salmon poke bowl. So let me tell you what ingredients we have here that will be the marinade for the salmon. So poke bowls are made with raw fish, but the fish is actually cooked by the enzymatic activity of the ingredients that you marinated in. We are going to marinate the salmon in sesame oil, fish sauce, rice wine vinegar, Mirin sauce, soy sauce, a few flakes of chili, and then we're going to garnish with sesame seeds. So let's make the sauce first. So I'm going to use a 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Uh, 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. One teaspoon of mirin. Now this is sometimes known as sweet cooking seasoning. I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of fish sauce. Sometimes known as fish seasoning. 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. And a pinch of chili flakes. Okay, what kind of fish should you use? So I buy my salmon as a fillet from a distributor for restaurants in the Philadelphia area. I use Hesh, H-E-S-H. I always freeze the fish first because that's going to get rid of any possibility of parasites, hopefully. Then I thaw it in the refrigerator, never at room temperature. And you can see I have the skin on the salmon on the back. And I'm using a Japanese sushi knife. These knives are wonderful. However, they are high maintenance. So once you use a sushi knife, it has to be washed and dried immediately or it will rust. So I'm going to cut it down the middle. And then I'm going to slice sidewards so that I remove the skin. Okay. So you see I have the skin off on that side. And now I'm gonna get the skin off on the other side. And I'm making enough for 2 people. Okay, so I have my fillet. When we visited Japan, it became clear from talking to the sushi chefs there that, you know, nobody really uses absolutely fresh fish caught from the sea for sushi. They always freeze it as a matter of health safety. So I'm slicing it, as you can see here, and I'm going to then cube it. And I'm going to make small cubes so that the surface area of each piece of fish is pretty high, and so the marinade can get into and around the fish. I'm going to then add that mixture that we made with soy sauce and cover it and put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes before I assemble my poke bowl. Now, your poke bowl can be, almost anything. You can make it what you like it to be. So what I like a poke bowl to be is some sushi rice, and I'll show you how I do that. Some pickled vegetables, some fresh avocado, fresh chopped scallions, and a Sriracha sauce. So we'll go through the steps, but for now, let's just focus on marinating our salmon. Now, some people do not like the brown flesh of the salmon on the underneath side close to the skin. I particularly don't mind it at all, but if you do mind it, then make sure then when you're de-skinning the salmon, you avoid that part of the fish. You can see some of the brown pieces that are coming off from the bottom. It is just the more fatty part of the salmon, and remember, the fat in salmon is supposedly quite good for you. So lots of omega-3s. Notice I'm not cutting my pieces too big because you want that marinade to get in there. Okay, so let's pour our marinade onto the salmon. We're going to mix this, and then we're going to cover it and just refrigerate for about 30 minutes. Okay, and that will enzymatically kind of cook that salmon. And in the meantime, why don't I make my 1 cup of sushi rice? I'm simply going to make it in the rice cooker. I'll use 1 cup of rice to 1.25 cups of water and 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and we'll meet back in about 30 minutes. See you then. Okay, so we have our salmon that has been marinating for about 30 minutes. We're just gonna kind of stir it up again, make sure that it has done its job. Excellent. I've made 1 cup of sushi rice, and now I'm going to season that rice. So the way you season sushi rice is, why don't we mix together 2 tablespoons. Actually, we're going to make a little extra, and we may not use all of it. Or, no, let's do 2 tablespoons of rice wine vinegar. And we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Okay. So we are going to just dissolve that completely. I'm going to just make sure it's dissolved. And then I'm going to drizzle it over the rice. And I'm going to gently toss the rice to make sure that that works in. Excellent. Okay, so I have my rice ready. Now, I usually keep on hand a bottle of pickled vegetables. The way you make pickled vegetables is simply by boil a half a cup of water, boiled water that's warm. Add a half a cup of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt. Pour it into a jar. And then thinly sliced vegetables that you like. I mean, you know, it can be anything you like. Onions, cucumbers, carrots, Asian radish, anything. And then put it into that liquid and at least for half an hour, let it marinate. I like to go a bit longer, so I'm gonna use that. I also have sauteed mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms sliced thin, onions sliced thin, and garlic sliced thin. I have green onions sliced, and I'm gonna make a sauce of mayo and Sriracha sauce. So let me show you my Sriracha sauce bottle so you know what that is. And that's what I'm going to use as a sauce. So let me add some Sriracha. And, you know, I do about a tablespoon of Sriracha. But adjust it based on how hot or spicy you'd like it, because Sriracha can be very spicy. Okay? So here's our sauce. Now let's put together our poke bowl. I'm gonna get a bowl. Oh, one more thing, very important. I usually use sliced avocado. Now you can adjust these to whatever you like. You don't have to do any sliced avocado or pickled vegetables. You can omit anything you'd like. But I think I'm going to use some sliced avocado. So let me put some rice on the corner here. Excellent. I'm going to put some of I'm going to drain some of that liquid off. I'm going to add some of that salmon. And you want to look in the bowl to see how that looks. Excellent. You're going to add some pickled vegetables. On the side. Excellent. There we go. I'm going to add some of these mushrooms and onions that have been sauteed. Sprinkle some of the green onions on top. It's beginning to look pretty yummy. Sesame seeds. And then I shall drizzle some of the Sriracha. And as I told you, I particularly like to use some avocado. So I'm going to just put some 3 avocado slices on top with a little more Sriracha on top. And there is our poke bowl. Enjoy.